August 20th, 1989, Beverly Hills, California. Inside a multi-million-dollar mansion, two gunshots echo through the night. Then more. When police arrive, José Menendez and Kitty Menendez are found dead in their living room. The scene is shocking. No signs of forced entry, no robbery. At first, investigators suspect organized crime, but the truth is far more unsettling because the people responsible were their own sons. This is the real story of Lyle and Eric Menendez, a case that became one of the most controversial murder trials in America.
A California parole board will now decide whether Eric and Lyle Menendez should be
30 years behind bars.
On the night of August 20, 1989, Lyle and Eric purchased shotguns and entered their family home. Their parents were in the living room. What happened next was sudden and devastating. Both José and Kitty Menendez were shot multiple times at close range. The attack was intense and deeply personal. Afterward, the brothers called 911, acting as if they had just discovered the scene. At first, investigators treated them as grieving sons, but that would soon change. Chapter 3. Suspicion begins. In the weeks following the killings, Lyle and Eric began spending large amounts of money. Luxury cars, designer watches, expensive travel. In total, they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars from their parents' estate. To investigators, this raised serious questions. Was this grief or motive? The case took a major turn when Eric confessed to his therapist. He described what happened that night, but the confession didn't stay private. Eventually, the information reached authorities, and in 1990, both brothers were arrested and charged with murder. In 1993, the trial began. It was one of the first major criminal trials in the United States to be televised. Millions of people watched as every detail unfolded in real time. The prosecution argued that the murders were planned. Their motive? Money, a multi-million-dollar inheritance. But the defense told a very different story. They argued that the brothers had endured years of abuse and believed their lives were in immediate danger. For them, the killings were not about greed, but fear. Lyle and Eric both testified in court, describing their childhood in detail. Their testimony shocked the nation. Because the brothers were tried separately, two juries were involved. After months of arguments and emotional testimony, neither jury could reach a unanimous decision. The result? A hung jury. No verdict. America remained divided. In 1995, a second trial began. This time, things were different. The court limited cameras, and much of the abuse-related testimony was restricted. The focus shifted more toward evidence and the actions of the brothers. Prosecutors emphasized planning and financial motive. The defense continued to argue fear and trauma, but the tone of the trial had changed. In 1996, the jury reached a decision. Both Lyle and Eric Menendez were found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Their sentence? Life in prison without the possibility of parole, meaning they will spend the rest of their lives behind bars. Today, both brothers remain in prison in the United States. Years after their conviction, they were reunited in the same correctional facility. They have given interviews and continue to maintain that their actions were driven by fear. Their case is still discussed in documentaries, podcasts, and legal debates. Some believe they were manipulative and calculated. Others believe their story reflects something deeper about trauma, silence, and the justice system. Two lives lost, two lives imprisoned, a family story that ended in tragedy. But even today, the biggest question remains unanswered. Were the Menendez brothers driven by greed or by fear? And more importantly, how do we decide the difference?